Sam. The Pea Shooter Show.
The Pea Shooter.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Distracted Thoughts. I'm Dathan, or I'm Aaron. Oh my goodness,
You're Dathan?
we see
Role
what
reversal
kind,
today?
We see what kind of day this is going to be. I'm Aaron. I'm here with my friend Dathan. Dathan, how are you this morning?
I'm good. You know, we should do that sometime. We should pretend to be each other in our conversation.
Oh, that
That would be hilarious.
would be interesting. That's for
I
sure.
think there'd probably need to be a drink or two beforehand. We could try.
Yeah.
I'm doing good, man.
Yeah.
I'm doing good. I'm slowly but surely learning how to be bored.
Yeah.
Nope. I'm slowly but surely learning how to find joy in boredom.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, let's call it rest because you
Yeah,
have been a
rest.
100-mile-an-hour guy for as long as I've known you.
Yeah, and it's like you know when you're going through those towns where it's 65 miles an hour,
Yeah.
and then there's no like 55, 45, 35. The next speed limit you see is 30.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like. It was like, holy cow.
Yeah.
But it's been good. It's been needed.
Yeah.
I will say that. I'm taking more naps. Just because,
Yeah.
I mean, you know, especially like that, so much has changed in the past 6 months, even 3 months. I mean, like we've talked about before, we put our one of our kids, Cole, we put him into public school.
Right.
We haven't had a kid in public school since my now 18-year-old. We pulled her out in third grade.
Right.
Homeschooled.
Right.
He wanted to try it out. We want to give him the experience. He's in first grade, so an average day looks like we get up, we get him and Declan breakfast. I leave the house. I drop my 14-year-old off at work.
Yeah.
I go drop my 6-year-old off at school. I come back home, and it's me, my wife, and our 4-year-old. And a lot of times he's entertaining himself, and there's not much going on. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
Right.
it's been interesting. My wife has had a little bit of a time trying to figure out what to do with extra time.
Okay.
She's been a mother for 18. I mean, she's still a mother,
Well,
but she's been
mom, teacher, all that stuff for
14 years.
And now she has the people that are at home with. It sounds funny. The people, her oldest, is home with her. Doesn't need a whole lot of help. Garrett,
self-taught,
self-sufficient. Declan's the only one, and he's in. She's teaching him, but she's not doing schoolwork with him.
No, she's doing basic core stuff, but nothing like full blown curriculum.
Right.
And so she's found, which I love it. She's found time to do things that she likes to do.
Right.
She's still working through the feeling guilty about doing it. But she's found time to do things, that she likes to do. So it's been good.
Yeah. I mean, it's got to be, like I said, it's got to be different. It's got to be one of those things that you're adjusting to. Like I said, for as long as I've known you, it's been 100 miles an hour. It's been go. And now it's stop. Like I said, I guess change is in the air, right?
It is. And I had to stop just yesterday. I had to stop looking at it as being unhappily bored, I guess you would say, and start looking at it as a recharging season.
Right. Rest.
Like, okay, so this is a rest, a recharging, a recalibration.
Right.
This is what we're doing for the season. This is in the season, and seasons, don't last 3 months. Seasons can last a month, 2 months. They can last a couple weeks. It depends, they can last years. It seems like, this one. I mean, I'm about a month in, and it is.
Yeah.
I'm just now settling into something. I'm sure as soon as I settle into something will change. That's just my life. But it gives me a different perspective on everything.
Well, I was going to say, I think that's the important thing of things like that is the perspective shift of, oh, that's what this is like. Oh, that's what, this different thing feels like. Oh, that's what, when somebody says, this thing or that thing, like I'm getting a different point of view. I talked that's one of the, more than anything, I talk to people about perspective shifts. Like,
Yeah.
are you thinking about that your way, or are you thinking about it in the way somebody else? That's funny. James and I were actually talking about this the other day because he's the senior, getting ready to move on, and we're talking about what he wants to do past, what he wants to do life after, and he's on the fence. He potentially could get some athletic scholarships. He's actually in conversations with some schools where his girlfriend actually attends, and there's maybe some money offers. He's got to fill out an application before they'll actually say, yes, this is how much or what. But the idea is, I'm not paying for him to go to college. I'm not. I'll support him and I'll help him other ways than financial, but I'm not going to do that because he needs some skin in the game. He needs to know, well, talking him through, he like me is social, yeah, he's very social. But one of the questions he literally asked me was, Dad, I don't understand why people do certain things they do. It just doesn't make sense. I just don't understand it. And so we had a conversation about perspective, about like, okay, we raised you this way. We raised you with these ideals and these standards. So to you, this thing makes sense this way. Sometimes you have to say, whoop, I'm stepping out of that. I'm stepping out of my head for a few minutes. I'm stepping out of who I am and saying, okay, if I was that person, if I had that life, whatever was going on, what you can know, how would I do it? Oh, well, now what they're doing makes sense.
And how can you, I tell people this all the time, how can you ever expect someone to see your point of view if you can't see theirs?
Yeah.
Like if it's turned around, if someone come to me and says, listen, I grew up in a place where, whatever, where this animal is trash and nobody eats it, or vice versa, this animal is like a delicacy,
right?
And then, but I grew up where it's disgusting,
Yeah.
How can I, if I'm closed-minded to the thought of they 100% are okay with this life, how can I ever expect them to look at me and go, it's cool for him to be that way because that's his life,
right?
I mean, and you learn that when you get out in the world,
right?
Because there's not one or two. There's hundreds of different lifestyles.
There are.
Just in the United States.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, like, that's one of the things, that kind of the birth of this podcast about nothing and everything is, some of those perspectives. There has to be common understanding. There has to be common ground. Talking about eating things. We don't eat people.
No, we don't. That's a common thing.
That's a common thing.
There's a couple tribes out there that might still do it, but
but we also know, okay, we're gonna that's that one. That one's a touch too far. But so I remember I was in the military, so I went overseas. I was in Korea, and I've always been curious about other things. So I've tried to, because I grew up here, really pretty close-minded, and I knew I didn't want to be locked in. So when I was in Korea, one of the things, and dog lovers, close your ears. They eat dog over there, but they raise dog like we raise cattle.
Yeah.
Okay. There were, in the area where I was stationed, they had farms with fields of dogs. They were a big red kind of looking dog, kind of looked like a lab, but a little bit more hair. And that was a food source because they raised them, and it's not bad. It's actually kind of like pork.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's a perspective. Now we eat beef here, right? Go to India. You're not getting beef. Sorry. Same thing. That's sacred, right? So, and I'm not going to look down on it. I'm not going to, I have a different perspective. I choose to see things differently. Am I going to go home and eat Sadie? No.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and that's, and even in the US, you can find crazy different cultures of food.
Yeah.
I mean,
right.
we are definitely the melting pot. I
Right.
mean, people up here is like, oh, you eat alligator or rattlesnake? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because I was born in the South.
Right. Right.
It was at every fish fry and cookout, and people just had it.
Yeah.
I worked at a seafood restaurant. It was my first job ever. Worked at a seafood restaurant, and alligator bites was on the menu.
Yeah.
I mean, it was something we kept, know.
Yeah.
And so that's just. But a lot of people up here thought, wait, I had never had bear until we moved up here. I also did not know that bear does not taste good on its own unless you put it in something else.
No. It's definitely a mixer. It's not.
Yeah. But I'd never had bear until I moved up here. Now, Bear Smokies is one of my favorite go-tos when it comes to grilling and stuff.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just different cultures. You want to talk about a culture that has crazy food? Go to Louisiana.
I've been there.
Dude,
One time.
I love the food there, but it is different.
It is different. It is different.
It is different. I mean, I had my first taste of boudin there, and it's a rice meat mixture put into a sausage.
Okay.
Is all it is.
All right.
It's nothing gross. I mean, it's standard foods that you would eat, but it's just spiced a certain way.
Okay.
But do you know what a kolache is?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
so they have boudin kolaches there.
Oh.
Which is a piece of boudin inside a like wrapped and cooked. Dude, I had one every single morning I was there, and then maybe another one for lunch if I went by the same place.
Nice.
So I mean, it's just things like that, But
well, and that's just one and that's just one small thing, and that we're talking on a national, global, whatever scale. And so if we can't shift perspectives in ourselves, then I mean, I think of those crabby old bastards who just back in my day, blah blah blah, whatever. You know what I'm saying,
I know
right?
exactly what you're talking
right?
about.
And the idea that, man, can't you? So I've been not flirting with this idea. I've been thinking through, because I work with lots of youth. I work with lots of younger folks, but I also, our generation, like, okay, I understand why they get upset with us. I also understand why we get upset with them, because it is the changing of the guard. It is the new ideas, but things work best when you shift perspective and see both. Hey, we have the wisdom, they have the energy, right? Hey, I understand. This is the way we used to do it. Can you incorporate a piece of the wisdom that we've gained through experience into your youthful enthusiasm to do things differently? And like I said, James and I talk about this. I'm like, hey, I'm not, because we did the same thing. I mean, how many times did you think that your parents or grandparents, their ideas were like that?
Ludicrous.
That's silly, right?
Silly.
And
I
now,
can do this so much more efficiently. I can do this so much better.
Right.
When my father has done it hundreds of times.
Right.
And while I may think I'm more efficient, and it's that, taking a little bit of his wisdom.
Yeah.
And maybe doing it his way for a little bit and then improving on it.
Yeah.
But just like it's hard for a younger generation to see an older generation's wisdom in it.
Yeah.
It's harder for the older generations to see a younger generation's enthusiasm and progression in it.
Right.
So you're right. Just being aware and perspective. You know, I mean, we talked this morning before we got on. We talked about, I had to change my perspective when talking with someone that I've known for years now, and that I had looked at a certain way because of my own way of thinking.
Yeah.
And I had to it took, 5+ years for me to step out of my own way of thinking and look at it from a different perspective. And the amount of joy that can now come out of a friendship
Right.
is so much better because there's no blockages, there's no walls.
Well, and the idea, that 5 years later, your own circumstances have changed along the way, and maybe his have too. And so now you get to a place for you to say, maybe I need to be a little bit more, I need to let things go. Because if I'm hanging on to this, or there's something that's weighing me down, or whatever it is, oh man, it's just why?
Yeah.
Why?
That's the biggest thing. Is it takes more energy to allow a person or a concept or a feeling to it takes more energy to allow that to bring you down
Yeah.
than it does to accept that there are differences in the way you think.
Yeah.
And it's okay for them to think one way and you to think
Yeah.
a different. It takes way less energy for that.
Yeah.
Because the other energy of thinking about it all the time literally takes up your time. It robs you of so much stuff.
Yeah.
And that's a big shift that our whole family has been doing lately, is just having a more open mind to different things.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're potentially stepping into that season. I know, potentially a step closer.
Yeah.
But it's a preparation. It's okay, all right. Think things differently. You're older than you were then. How would I do things differently? How could I see things? What makes sense? What doesn't make sense? I'm talking completely random stuff because there's no plan. But like us talking this morning, hey, should things go a certain way, should certain things work out, you could do the travel. I say indefinitely, but also not indefinitely, because
Yeah.
at some point,
At some points the season will shift.
yeah, yep,
And we will, I mean, when we landed here,
yeah,
we had no intentions
Ah.
of settling down.
yeah,
I mean, we had our plans. We were doing our summer here because it was beautiful and we had a place to do like work camping and
yeah,
but when we got here, actually before we got here, was like, all right, we have to work, Memorial Day to Labor Day. Was that way or backwards? I don't remember. Anyway.
yeah. That's right.
Memorial Day Labor. So it was like May till September.
Yeah,
And September like 18th was our last day.
yeah,
And before we even got here, this was back in March, April, we said, okay, on September 18th, we're still going to have enough good weather. We're going to head towards Montana. We're going to stay at Glacier. We're going to go through the north. We're going to hit the Dakotas. We're going to go through Wisconsin. And then before it starts turning cold, we're going to head south.
yeah,
And we had this whole mapped out plan. And because we'd come across the south of the United States from the east to the west, and then came up through the desert and mountains, and then landed here. And we were like, all right, we'll be here for 3 months, and then boom, we're going to be gone. And it didn't happen. You know what I mean? That was 8 years ago.
right.
And so we've been here that long. And so to say how long people ask us that all the time, how long are you going to travel for? I have no idea. If you'd asked me last time, I would have told you, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 years.
Yeah.
We traveled for a year and then lived in it for an additional year here.
Yeah.
And then bought a house. But who knows, we may come across a place and be like, you know what? This will be a great place to settle down at some point in time and buy a piece of property and go back and visit it from time to time and then eventually settle down there. Who knows? Who knows how it'll work?
And that being open to the unknown, I joke. I think like we're not the travelers like you guys are, but Megan and I, my plan was to never live here again. I didn't have the intent or didn't have the thought of ever wanting to live here again. Well, close. We thought maybe we'd live in like Coeur d'Alene, somewhere that far away, but never really intending to land here ever again. And then my wife, in the immortal words of my wife, we had come back for a visit. We were on our way back to the Tri-Cities where we were living at the time, and she said, and I quote, "I think I could live there again." Monday, everything changed. literally, we were driving back on Sunday. The next day, I got the call, and things changed from there. And dude, I could not get, because I have a master's degree in business, and I had done sales and distribution for 17 years. Dude, I couldn't get a look. I couldn't get anything in that field. Nothing. I applied for a stinking teacher job here, and before I even did the interview, and before I even get an hour away, because I'm driving back, they said, we'd like to offer you the job. I guess we're going to Bonners.
Right.
And we've been here for 10 years. And now in the process, we've bought a house, sold a house, built a house, which we are moving into slowly because we're realizing how little we actually need to survive. It's
When you spend time not surviving on a lot, it puts a different perspective on everything.
Yeah. We've got, because it's the three of us, it's Megan, I, and James. And so we've got 3 plates, we've got 3 forks, we've got a pan, we've got, and we've got a couple of chairs, and we've got our beds, and we're like, we'll move in a couple totes. All right, we'll unpack that. All right, we'll move in a couple more. We'll do it. And like the ones you saw me getting yesterday, they're still not, because it's like, what's the rush?
Yeah.
we don't even need to. But in that same note, Megan and I've talked about, like, the house we built is the house we would like to stay in, but we know better. We know that
don't put a definite on anything, you know.
Well, just like we God moved us here, in my opinion. God moved us here. He also could say, I'm done with that. It's time for you to move on. And being prepared for the perspective shift, the things that, talking about remote work. Like I could actually do my job anywhere.
Yeah.
Telehealth, technology, computers, whatever. I could work 4 hours a day and do counseling that way and be just fine. I don't know that I'd want to.
Yeah. That's going to be a shift for me.
Yeah.
You're an in-person guy. I'm an in-person guy.
Right.
I read
body language.
I read body language. I read energy. I read facial expressions. I read tone of voices.
Yeah.
And even though technology is good,
that
can still get lost over technology.
Oh, absolutely.
Like even if it's a video conference call, it can still get lost.
Yeah.
So it's going to be different for me doing, working remotely, not having the interactions. I will tell you, last time we traveled, it was funny because we'd get to a park, I'd get set up, we'd sit around, and I'd kind of unwind. So after a day of traveling, I would travel usually right around 300 miles.
Right.
Well, driving 300 miles, 65 miles an hour, pulling a car with a 36-foot Class A motorhome, I was tense the entire time.
Well, yeah.
So the release of that tension when I got set up somewhere would cause me to just dump, just nothing, So after I dumped that, because it was usually like that evening, the next day I'd get up and my wife would be like, "Oh, are you going to go wander?" Yep. And I would wander around the park. I'd meet all kind of people. I might be gone 30 minutes. I might be gone 3 hours. And she never worried about me because I had to have some in-person.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine this time being any different.
Yeah.
I mean, I would meet people and we'd get invited over for dinner and invited for cookouts. And my wife would be like, "Really? I just want to stay in the RV. I don't."
Yeah. But that's that different. I could see if we were to do something like that, Megan would be that. She's much more the private person.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely more the social side of it. But, like I said, I'm not gonna qualify anything. I'm not going to say one way or another. The hope is that we stay in this house at least for a while. But I don't know, man. I don't know.
It's different. It's interesting how life shifts you, and how you can be so certain about something,
Yeah.
like so certain about it, like willing to die on it. And in a conversation, in a few words,
Yeah.
your whole perspective can change on it.
Yeah. Well, that's funny thinking about that idea of, you're right. In just a little bit, I guess, so talking about the crotchety old man and I don't know that I could be that guy, because the older I get, the more I realize I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know anything.
I don't know. I don't know what, I'm not so sure. Now, the things that I do know, I know well, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
yourself.
absolutely.
The things that I do know, I know well. I can speak confidently, but I also know that there's a whole shitload that I don't know, that I'm not aware of, that I'm not certain about. And so I'm going to trust the people that I trust. I'm going to be skeptical of those that I don't. And, try to be as open-minded as possible.
Yeah. I mean, and that whole aspect of not being so close-minded that new information couldn't change the way you think
Right.
is what most of our world lives in right now.
Yeah.
And I hate that,
Yeah.
because I'm not that person. I'm not going to say I've never been that person, because I have been. I've been that person. I've been the closed-minded, this is the way it is. This is far extreme one way or the other, and opening your mind to the possibility that you could be wrong.
Yeah.
And that if the right information came along, you would accept it.
It's funny. So one of the talk about perspective shifts, attitude shifts, and I talk about it with some of my clients, but also for myself. I go into every potential disagreeable situation now with the realization that I could be 5% wrong. Okay. And what I mean by that is I might have my facts 100% correct. I may know exactly what the facts are of the situation, but that 5% might be my attitude.
Mhm.
I could be coming at it with a poor attitude. Like, yeah, I know
Because
exactly.
poor attitude can skew facts.
Absolutely. Well, and how quickly is somebody, again, perspective, how quickly is someone turned off because you're a dick? I mean,
Like that.
right?
I mean, that fast. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Um,
even
I have ended business deals with people because of attitudes.
yeah, right.
When the whole deal would have been mutual beneficially, but I've ended deals because of attitudes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's so if you go into it like that, if you go into it with the, not okay, a little bit like, this is why I believe what I believe. This is what I think is right in this situation. But maybe I need to say it in a different way, shift my perspective, talk through somebody else's lens, and realize, yeah, I think of a younger version of me that would have thought you were out of your ever loving mind for wanting to go on the road like you do. Seriously, I would have, that guy would have been like, no way, it's wrong, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, I can't. You grow older, or not even older. You just shift perspectives, because I'm sure you get shit from other people of like, what are you doing?
Straight up, why would you do that?
Yeah.
Or why are you doing that?
Yeah.
And my answer is because I can.
Yeah.
Because I want to.
Yeah.
I don't know if I ever told you this or not. The first time we did this,
Uh-huh.
it literally got decided over a day.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It was I had been looking into living full time in an RV, blah blah blah. I mentioned it to my wife. She's like, absolutely not. I will never live in an RV. That was her answer. That was quote word for word. I will never live in an RV.
Yeah.
Slowly but surely over the next month, she sat on the couch. I'd be watching a video of a full-time RVer.
Yeah.
One day, we're getting ready for bed, and we get in bed, and I'm like, you really would never just go travel in an RV and just experience things? She goes, how about this? You find us an RV that we can get into, and I'll do it. I roll it over, pick my phone up, send a text. Ding, comes back. Give me a call. Hey, man, your parents still have that RV? Good buddy of mine in Texas.
Yeah.
Your parents still have that RV, that Class A? Yeah. They still have used it? No, they ain't used it in like 2 years. Think they want to sell it? Let me call you back. Hangs phone up. 10 minutes later, the phone rings again. I pick it up. I'm like, hey. He goes, Dad said if it's for you and your family, y'all can have it. Just come get it. Hang the phone up. This all happened in like a 30-minute span. I roll over and tell my wife, I was like, all right, we got an RV. We just got to go pick it up. She goes, shit. So that was how it happened the first time.
Yeah.
We moved into, we told the family, we told our family.
Mm-hmm.
My parents have known I've always been a wanderer and a nomadic style person. I've always been that way. I always want to see what else is out there in every aspect of life. They've known it, so they didn't even question it. They were like, oh, cool. It sucks. We're not going to get to see the grandchildren much, but cool. Good for y'all.
Yeah.
Her dad straight up told her, if you were doing this with anybody but Dathan, I'd be, because he's handyman, he's just out, he can do whatever.
Yeah, right.
I'd be worried. But y'all have fun. Her mom and both of her sisters called an intervention on her.
What?
Got her to not knowingly come to an intervention and ask them.
It's not like it's not like she can addict or anything.
Asked her, was I abusing her, and did I have her in some kind of cult, and that's why they were. I wanted to get her away from the family. That was her response.
Okay.
She laughed so hard at it. And they
that's hilarious.
Both of her sisters wouldn't even like talk to me.
Really?
And like it was rough. And then about a month, 2 months into it, they're realizing that we're literally just living on vacation and traveling.
Yeah.
And now both her sisters are like, this sounds amazing. I would do that anytime. But it was that perspective neither one of them could fathom. They had both been in the same house since they were born, or not born, but young kids.
Yeah.
They had lived in the same town their whole life. They had never traveled. And for them to think that this guy that she'd been married to for 4 or 5 years is all of a sudden going to put her on the road and you're not going to have a house, you're going to be homeless. That's what they kept telling us. You're going to be homeless? You're going to be homeless? No, my home's just going to have wheels on it. I'm going to travel around. I'm going to take my home with me.
I mean, every trailer park is a house on wheels. So.
Every single one of them. Every single one of them.
They just don't go very far.
But you asked, like, people think you're crazy. Like, her family thought I was crazy.
Yeah.
Like, thought she was crazy. Like, they don't now. I mean, after a few months of it, they realized that their perspective shifted.
Well, and is it, again, that seasonality? Okay. All right. How long? You're also, this time around, going into a different, I know you're looking at different options, one for your business, for online stores and stuff, making CQB, not just a location, but an online retail, which, fantastic. I think it's great, go that way. But also I know you're talking with, or have talked to a couple of different places about part-time,
remote
style work. So even in that, this is not going to be like last time either.
And it won't be nothing like last time.
Right.
I mean, last time, honestly, we left with the money we had in the bank, which was not a lot.
Right.
Now we were debt free, but with no thought of how we were going to make money to even put gas in the thing.
Right.
It wasn't until I got to our first destination, which was in Texas, that I took a pretty much business consulting job working with a guy to revamp his business that turned in, I told him I'd give him 30 days and it turned into 3 months. But I had no idea that was going to pan out until we got there.
Right.
So it was definitely, we're definitely doing this one a lot differently. And we're going to be planning on this one. Last time, when we got somewhere, we would look at a map and we would draw a 300-mile circle.
Yeah.
And we would pick our next destination when we were sitting in the one before it. We didn't pick beyond that. We would pick our next destination. And we might stay where we're at for a night, a week, or a month, depending on how we liked it.
Right.
We'd always try to book it for like a week, but there was some we cut short. We booked for a week and we only stayed 2 days.
Right.
And then there was others we booked for a week and ended up staying there for a month. Like we were in this little cute campground in North Georgia one time, and it was like, it's called Jenny's Creek, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
And but this time is going to be a little different.
Yeah.
So I want to actually plan out our trip, mainly because one of the campground memberships we're going to have, you have to book 21 days in advance.
Oh.
So I have to know where I'm going to be.
Right.
In order to book out.
Okay.
So you have to book your next stay at least 21 days in advance.
So if you're thinking 3 weeks ahead, that's close, sufficient. But yeah, it would be. See, I think it's funny. Putting myself in your shoes, and then thinking of my own remote work. I would probably only travel on like Fridays or Saturdays, and then set up and try to be one place for a week so I could do my work.
Yep.
And then go to the next place. And
Those are the 2 days I refuse to travel on.
Really?
I will not travel on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Okay.
And I will not travel at night. And the reason behind it is if you break down and you need a part on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it's almost impossible to find.
Well, that's true.
Okay. Or something you don't have.
Right.
And then if you're traveling at night, it's just way harder to drive at night. Like with animals and with seeing things, and when you're towing something that's 15,000 pounds, it's just for me, I hate driving at night. I absolutely hate driving at night.
Oh,
my wife can't drive at night.
Really? Oh, man.
I mean, not without some. She shouldn't drive at night. Let's put it that way.
Well, so my wife is like you guys. She has special glasses that she's supposed to wear.
Absolutely. Supposed to wear. She's supposed to wear. Because she gets really bad, like the stars. That's exactly same with my wife.
Yeah. I don't have that issue. I actually see, for me, I actually prefer driving at night. I see better.
I see fine at night.
Yeah.
I just don't enjoy doing it because if I'm driving at night and it's 11 o'clock at night and something happens, a blown tire or something like that, it is almost impossible to get service in the middle of the night without paying 3 times more for it.
Yeah.
And that's things you got to think about. So we'd get up 6:30.
Yeah.
Eat our breakfast, start packing at 7. By 8 o'clock, we're pulling out. And by 2 o'clock, we're pulling into our next gig because we're 6 hours on the road, 300 miles.
Yeah.
We're pulling our next gig. We got time to set up, time to check out the campground, to get the lay of the land. And when you travel on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, there's not a lot of traffic. There's not a ton of traffic. So you can travel a lot easier than you can when you're traveling on the weekends.
I could see doing Mondays. I hate Mondays. My previous work, I actually would intentionally make my schedule, and even now, my lightest day is Monday. Like
not a Monday guy.
Not a Monday. Never been a Monday person. I would work Tuesday through Saturday happily and not work Mondays. Even, like I said, even now, I'm in charge of my own schedule. I do my own stuff. I'm down to 3 people on Mondays, and they're basically ones that I'm like, can you go someplace? No. All right, we'll just leave these 3 people. We'll leave these 3 people, and they're at the end. They're like 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah, you definitely know Monday morning stuff.
No Monday morning stuff. So I could see.
That's funny, the stigma of that the world has created. Because that's all it is.
Oh, I know.
Me and Saturday rolls around at our house.
Yeah.
I look at my wife and I'm like, hey, what are we going to do today? It's the weekend. She's like, what does the weekend matter? Neither one of us work a 9 to 5. What does it matter if it's Saturday or Tuesday or Thursday or
yeah?
And I'm like, it's just a stigma of that growing up that you had your weekends. What are you going to do on this weekend? That's what you don't ask people. Hey, what are you doing on Tuesday? No, you said,
Well,
what are you doing on the weekend? You
Well,
want to come cook out on Tuesday, middle of the day? No, you have to work most of the time,
well, that's okay, but that you put Cole in the school system, that's going to program that in him.
It is, and it kind of sucks. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie. It is kind of programming into him because now when Fridays and Saturdays roll around, he wants to like do things outside
Yeah,
the house.
yeah.
He wants to like, and it's already started, and he's only been in school less than a month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
month, yeah.
So yeah. So
So
what are you doing this weekend?
do the same thing I do every weekend, Pinky. I'm taking over the world.
Oh, I am celebrating a birthday.
Are you?
27th, 2 days from now.
2 days from now?
Yeah.
Is today? Oh, I guess today is the 25th.
Yeah, I'm celebrating birthday
What,
Saturday.
are you going to be 50?
No, not quite. Not quite. 44.
44, huh?
So
Yeah.
Saturday. I think we're gonna go down. We're gonna take the family down. There's a motorcycle rally in Sandpoint, and it's like a motorcycle show and custom bikes and stuff. And I ain't been to one of those in a long time. I used to ride bikes all the time, be really into it.
I say you did the bikes, you did the custom car thing.
Yeah.
I mean,
So it's
definitely have that
it's
motorhead.
Sandpoint's first annual, I forget what they're calling it, motorcycle rally. So we're gonna check it out. There's always good food and just events, and it's family friendly, and so that's what I want to do. I want to go spend time with the family and just go hang out and walk around, check out some cool bikes.
What are we? I mean, realistically,
You're moving this weekend.
We're still moving. We're still a little bit of, yes and no. So Sophie is going on vacation. She's going to Texas to visit my folks, my full sister, Alexis. I have a full sister. I have a half sister. I have a stepsister. Not that she's ever going to hear this.
Probably not.
But yeah, I'm actually taking Sophie. Her flight leaves at like 7:00 Saturday morning. So I'm taking her to the airport, and then I'll go, we'll pick her up. She gets back in a week. Then we're supposed to help with firewood for Megan's grandparents. And then we'll probably start moving in at least some of our bigger, like I said, we've got 2 chairs, probably move one of the couches, stuff like that. I do need to, you've seen it. I'll rearrange the studio a little bit. A few things have moved left. Things have changed a little bit. But I need to get the rest of it in order because it's coming into fall and it's meeting season. And so I need my conference room back so that I can actually start getting some meeting stuff there. So right now it's still, while slower, we're still doing some of the organization stuff. We're not trying to rush. We're trying to just ease into it. The funny, you come to the house and the room that is the most set up is our loft. We've got the 85-inch TV against the back wall. We've got a sectional couch. And then along one wall is James's computer and my computer. And the only thing left that we're going to put in that room is basically it's one of those old dining room tables, the like 5-foot tables, because that's going to be our game table. That's going to be, playing cards or playing board games or whatever is going to go in that room. But that's the most complete room in our house.
The entertainment room.
Our entertainment room. Well, so what are your priorities? Entertainment?
And a bed.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
Pretty much it. That's one of the, like I said, we talked about it in the beginning. We talked about it before, what do we actually need? Like, we have a giant living room, main floor that has 2 chairs in it right now. 2.
So how does it feel to actually be done with final inspection? Has it hit you yet?
So it's surreal. I'm waiting for the next knock on the door of the one more thing that needs to be done or the one more thing, So it is a little bit. I would imagine when the mortgage payments convert from the interest only that we've been paying, through the process,
through the building process,
to an actual, then it'll, but not really, because we've been paying for stuff through the whole process.
Yeah.
I think when it's going to actually affect me is when we actually have people over and enjoy it for how we intended it. This again, the social aspect of it. We built this house specifically for gatherings, for being with people, and I think the first time we actually do something like that is going to be like, okay, yeah, this is real. Like, okay, the other place that's set up, I take that back. Still entertaining, but my back patio has, right outside of our bedroom, sliding glass is 2 of these style chairs with a fire pit for Megan and I, for me to go out and enjoy my evening cigar, a couple times, once or twice a week. There's a whole area with the patio furniture that we had at our old house is all set up, and then a dining or a table with our grill. And so that's all set up. So those are the 2 areas of our house that are set up. The back patio,
the chill patio, and the entertainment room.
And the entertainment room. Because those are the things that are important. Those are the things that we actually enjoy.
Well, it's funny because when we were looking at RVs and just trying to decide what we're going to do and because there's so many different styles out there and everything. And we finally settled on a 5th wheel toy hauler.
Yeah.
And at first, Alexis had never seen a toy hauler, so she didn't really know what it consisted of. And I picked probably the worst video on the internet to show her of a toy hauler, and she's like, "That sucks. I would never want to have one of those." And I'm like, "Crap," because I was really looking forward to it. And then I walk her into this one and show it to her, and I let the back ramp down that turns into a patio.
Right.
It's got gates that flip or railing that flips up on the side, and it's got a sliding door that you can go out of. And she's like, "Oh, this is nice."
Yeah.
And I was like, think about where we stayed in Colorado. Think about where we backed up and what we were looking out of the back of our RV. I was like, imagine having that as a patio and chairs and sit out here and drink coffee and unwind the day or whatever, start the day.
We don't have to.
And she's like, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
Because we backed up to this. It was funny because it would be kind of scary actually, but we backed up to this place. It was a dude ranch in Colorado, and we were at like 11,000 foot elevation, right? And so we backed up and we're looking at the like a 14,000 peak mountain behind us, and it's a big field and animals roaming. But when you back into this spot, it drops off. So the back of our RV was actually hanging over this cliff.
Oh.
And she was terrified at first, and I'm like, it'll be fine. But I told her, I was like, can you imagine letting a deck down and you've been able to sit on the deck and you walk to the deck and look down and it's a 20-foot drop, but you're looking out over to a field with, wild animals and a mountaintop covered in snow. And she's like, that would be amazing. I was like, yeah, that's why I want a 5th wheel.
Yeah.
Or backing up to a lake or a beach area and being able to open it up and having a deck and that be your backyard.
Yeah.
So the patio was like one of my key things. Inside the RV, the couches, the stuff like that, living area, whatever, TV, whatever. You know what I mean? I wanted the outside area to be able to have big awnings, and I wanted the patio to be able to flip down.
There are things, it's funny, house, RV, whatever it is, there are things that are important to men, and there are things that are important to women. We care about the outside. With very few exceptions, do we care about what's inside?
Yep.
There are, certain things. The outside is, I find in most of my conversations, the outside is what's most important to us.
Alexis, first thing she started looking at when she walked through this RV is how much storage it had in the kitchen.
Yeah.
I'm like, I didn't even open the cabinets in the kitchen because I didn't think about it.
Right.
She's like, look at this pantry. I'm like, we didn't even have a pantry in our last RV. And she's like, look at this pantry. It's huge.
Yeah.
I'm like, cool. That's what you get excited about. Come look at the patio. It's awesome.
So, and this one, I know the one you're looking at in particular, it's an actual 5th wheel, right?
It is a 5th wheel. It's 43 feet.
Okay.
It's huge.
Oh, that's big.
Like 15,000 pounds. It's big.
Okay. So that actually changes your plans a little bit, because before you were looking at RVs with the tow behind. Now you're actually looking at...
Yeah, we're looking at buying a 1-ton vehicle dually.
Okay.
to tow it with. And so I'm super excited. I love dualies. They're like my favorite thing in the world to
You're
drive.
going to be riding around on an e-bike so that you can, save a little gas and not drive the dually around. all
But
the
you know,
time.
last time the Class A get 5 miles to the gallon.
Yeah.
Pulling, I've looked it up. Most like F350s or Chevy 3500 dualies, 1 tons, pulling 12 to 15,000 pounds, get 6 to 8 miles to the gallon.
Yeah.
So I'm going to get about the same. I mean, it's not going to be much difference. And you got to realize it. We only move usually about once or twice a month. Even if we
Yeah.
move twice a month, I'm only doing 600 miles pulling that thing.
Right. But it's your runaround.
It is the runaround.
Yeah.
We've talked about it. A Mini Cooper will fit in the back of that RV. Weight, size, and everything.
Really?
It's a 14-foot garage in the back of this thing.
Okay.
A Mini Cooper, we've measured it, will fit in the back of that. Garrett's like, yes. Let's buy one of the 4-seater Mini Coopers. That'll be my car, and you can use it to get around. We won't do all that. I'll probably get an e-bike. I'll probably get e-bikes and stuff like that because a lot of places we're probably going to be staying will probably be close to towns and stuff like that, and we can ride and
Right.
ride bikes.
And well,
or
if you
whatever.
really have to go, then you take the truck.
Yeah.
But most of the time, that's why I said I could see you. I just had an image of Dathan with his e-bike and his beard flapping in the background.
Yeah. I've already been looking at them. I'm not going to lie. I think they're awesome because I'm not a bicyclist. I'm not somebody who's going to go put 15 miles on a bike pedaling. I'm just not that guy. You give me an e-bike, I'll ride the shit out of that thing.
I mean, you are almost 44 years old.
Yeah. And my knees don't like bicycles. I mean, I've got arthritis in both knees from being a catcher for so many years. So they don't like strenuous stuff. So
and as you get older, things don't work how they're supposed to. I actually talking about. I went to the doctor this week for basically checking out for VA stuff. Yeah, and the doctor was hilarious. So I told you about going to the pinched nerve in my shoulder and not having any reflexes in my left arm. So I went to the VA doctor, and she's checking me out, and she's like, "Okay, I want to test the reflexes in your lower extremities." Okay. And Megan's sitting over here watching it. And she takes that little hammer and she does my left leg and gets the kick, and she does the right, the ankle, and I get the little toe kick and everything. And she goes to my right leg and she whacks me in the knee. Waits a second. Whacks me in the knee again. Nothing. Whacks me in 4 times. 4 times. And she gets this look on her face like, And then she goes down to the ankle and whacks it. She's like, And that was
it's never good.
Never good. It's like, okay, well, I'm gonna go send you for x-rays of your back. Oh, great. So you're telling me my reflexes in my right leg and my left arm are shot. Great.
Pinch nerves, pinch
Yeah.
in the back. That happens.
Yeah. So, as you're talking about, I don't want to ride bike like I used to. I don't want to do those things because shit doesn't work
Shit doesn't work like it's supposed to. Or it works like it's supposed to at this age, I guess. But, and some people are like, oh, you just need to do more exercise and you're used to it. Listen, some people like exercise. Some people don't.
Yeah.
I like sitting on a patio and watching a view and getting on an electric bike and riding it around.
Yeah. Well, like we were talking about it's either going to be a mountain view or a seaside view, but for you guys, depending on what you want to do.
That's it. We if you look at the dots, we have we've got it mapped on a map of our travels, and we completely avoided the central United States, like all the plain states. We were in Oklahoma for about that long because the little leg of Oklahoma, we come out of Texas and went through it to get up north. And that's all we did. And that was the worst road I've ever been on in my life. Oklahoma needs to fix their roads. It shook things apart on our RV.
Yeah.
Well,
I lived in Kansas for 2.5 years, and you're not missing anything.
It's just a whole bunch of nothing, ain't it?
It's a whole bunch
That's what everybody tells me. And I got tornadoes. And I will sit on my porch and watch a hurricane roll in. Don't give me a tornado. I want nothing to do with a tornado. I'm good with snowstorms. I'm good with hail. I'm good with hurricanes. I'm decent with earthquakes. I don't want anything to do with a tornado. They are the most unpredictable natural disaster out there.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, because they'll
Like
turn on a
the
dime.
most unpredictable.
Yep. They'll
And
turn on a dime.
That's literally the reason we avoided all. If our house sells late in the winter,
Yeah.
I am not going diagonal from Idaho to there. I will go south until I hit I-10.
Yeah.
And I will go straight across. I will do an L. I will put an extra 3,000 miles on that RV or that truck to not have to go through the middle of the state. I just don't like them. They're flyover states. Ain't that what they're called? Flyover states?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a buddy who was originally from Kansas, and they came up here to visit, and he was almost claustrophobic because all kinds of sky. They're used to big open, and he got up here and got in the mountains, and he's like, "It's so tight. I feel closed in." I'm like, what?
Yeah, we did. Where did we go through? We went through, was it New Mexico? I don't remember where it was at. Might have been in Texas.
Yeah.
Might have been in West Texas. No, might have been in the East. I don't know where it was at. Anyway, we went through somewhere that had wind turbines, right?
Yeah.
And it was flat. Like, I bet you could see 20 miles. Like, it was that flat.
Yeah.
There wasn't a bump in sight, much less a hill.
Yeah.
And it was just wind turbines and open fields. And I'm like, we drove for probably an hour and a half before we seen civilization. Hour and a half, 2 hours, just driving. I don't remember where state we were in. We were coming through some state. And it was crazy. It was just forever and ever and ever and ever and ever of just flat.
Yeah. And people live there, man.
I know.
And they enjoy it.
You'd pass something and it'd be like a farmhouse out here. And you wouldn't see another house for another 45 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's it's one of those things. But unfortunately, sir, we filled an hour of nothing.
Of nothing. Welcome to nothing.
Yeah, welcome to nothing. Dathan, thoughts?
Perspective.
Yeah.
Don't be so stuck on your own.
Yeah.
Open your mind to other perspectives. Look at things in different perspectives. Like listen to someone and know that at any point in time you can be 5% wrong.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Know that you can be 5% wrong at any point in time.
Yeah.
And if you just allow yourself to know that and put yourself in that, you'll meet all kind of really cool people.
Yeah. Well, and realizing too, talking about meeting new people, people are interesting if you give them a chance. Very, very rarely have I met somebody that's truly boring. You get to know somebody, they have a different perspective. They think differently than you do. Their life has experienced things that you haven't seen. Take a chance, take the opportunity to find out what that is. And shift your attitude. And that's something, again, just started living by. Man, I could be just 5% wrong, and knowing that, and it could be just my attitude that needs a little bit of adjustment to talk to all kinds of different people. So keep that open mind in all things. You know, it is good. But with that, this is another episode of Distracted Thoughts. Thank you for being here. We look forward to seeing you all next time.
See ya.